and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Stamper and today is our writing adventure day. Now I'm still working on my Mythmasters in Camelot book, and I came upon a quandary, and that was how to dress one of my characters for basically Arthurian times. So I'm going to walk you through what I did and pretty much how everything that I thought about medieval clothing is wrong or not as Hollywood has portrayed it. I know you're shocked that Hollywood wouldn't get something right when it comes to period pieces. All right, so I'm going to share out my screen and I'll show you some of the things that I've been looking at. Basically, it's going to be my teenage girl, Libby, and she has to dress the occasion. So if I just type in the Dark Ages in Europe, so according to historyhit.com, the Dark Ages were between the 5th and the 14th century, lasting 900 years, between the fall of the Roman Empire and the Renaissance. It's called Dark Ages because so little scientific and cultural advancement in Europe. Other parts of the world had it covered. Okay, but that's a long period of time, and the way our clothing changes within the last couple of years even is different. So let's look at some images here, see what we've got going on. Okay, so here's a wonderful example of, this is the, I don't speak French, so it's the bourgeoisie in Midi Europe. So this is miniature paintings, but you can see kind of, you get an idea here. This is like the Lombardis here. And, you know, it's like you have things a lot in capes and draping. Looks kind of like Roman style here. The women's, their heads have a covering. You don't see their hair. And I do know that as especially the Northern Europe became more Christianized and left off their pagan ways, the more coverings there were as far as head and neck coverings for the ladies. So let's take a look at some other, 1416. Now, King Arthur was way before that, more closer to the 5th to the 9th century. And this is supposed to be in the 1416. So my characters, like, what of you would not wear this type of thing? Okay. And which is unfortunately a lot of what you see in Hollywood is the drapey dresses, the skin tight sleeves, long, tiered things, the funky hats. I mean, look at this, funky. So that's not going to work for my characters here. Now, the original copies of the Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, they were published in the 14th and 15th century, but they took place way earlier than that. So I am going to go back. So now that I have a general idea, this is not what they wore. Nope, no sir. You'll see this a lot in reenactments though, and in Hollywood. And technically it still is part of the Dark Ages and medieval times. But this is in the later periods. Okay, so now that I have a better idea here, I'm going to put clothing of, oh look, it pops up 7th century England. That's not too bad. All right, and I like the images here because then I can always look up what the technical names for the clothing are and look at all this. Okay, so Anglo-Saxon dress. This is from Wikipedia. So it's like very draped. It's got some layerage. This here is the girdle, like the one that was mentioned. So it's not like an actual girdle like we know it. It's like more like a bustier. This is more like a belt that they wrapped around, kind of cinched the waist a little bit. Everybody wore, it was like one of the tools of daily living. You wore one of these all the time. So this would be somewhat in line. Notice her head isn't covered here. She has like some beadage here. Here we have what we would more see here. But you know, since she's a kid, maybe Lady de Bersiac would wear something like this, and Libby would wear something a little less. This, I mean, this is some high quality fabric work going on up in here. Oop, come on, there we go. Another example. This would be more, I guess, for the guys, because no woman would be showing that much leg in this period. So this is definitely more like a dude hunting costume type dealio. Now this is what we often think of when we think of things like medieval times, and it's not wrong. You know, you got the long drapey sleeves, but this is going to be probably more later on, and definitely wealthy, of course. Hair would be down, and oftentimes it was shown. Let's see. I also love how when you put 7th century England, it comes up with other things. This is definitely not 7th century, more like 17th century. Completely different, y'all. Okay. But a lot of these you can find on Pinterest. Now this one, I actually, show it. Okay. This is actually a video on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the description below, but this is about as close as I could get to kind of what we were looking at here. So I will leave that description in the link below, but I mean, it's very different from the previous image, like this, to like this. She has a head covering on, but her hair is still showing. She has the long chemise, the tunic, an outer coat, her girdle that you see there. It's like a braided, almost like a braided rope type girdle, and has the pocket because, you know, pockets weren't included in the clothes. You carried it on the outside, like a little travel bag of your necessities. And you would still, you know, it's like, if this was a high festive day, you would wear jewelry and things like that. For whatever beads you had, you know, to help celebrate or commemorate this. In the video, when you see it there, she's actually going to a funeral for like a town leader. So this would be something more in line to what dark half Libby would be given to wear. Maybe not in the same color family, but, you know, something similar, because they did have clothing dyes back then. You know, it wasn't until later when they had the sumptuary laws where it's like, oh no, you poor people who are just getting into the money, you can't wear these colors because they're the royalty colors. Ew. No. But see, I mean, they use plant-based dyes, you know, to make the red. You know, it's like beetroot and madder, and, you know, they had linen, you know. So it would probably be something along these lines that Libby would wear. So I will leave that link in the description below. I won't play it outright because copyright is the thing. And I want to make sure that they get full credit and the views that, you know, this is a very, very, very helpful video. So, all right. So I'm going to stop share. If you like these types of videos, please click like, subscribe, dingling the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.